I feel like ever since Zelda Breath of the Wild came out, we've been getting many open world games that take inspiration from Breath of the Wild. One game that I feel like we've been hearing a lot about ever since that very first PS5 showcase, although I could be wrong about that, is Tchia. And while it never really caught my eye necessarily, I checked it out since it's free with PS Plus Extra. While it is a peaceful, delightful, and relaxing open world game, it does leave quite a bit to be desired. But let's talk about it. Hi guys, EPX here, reviewing today, Tchia. And before we get started, you know what to do. Be sure to subscribe and hit the bell, leave a comment, or I will rock your world. In a bad way. Starting off with the good, the first thing about Tchia is the vibe and atmosphere. It is nearly impossible to not be somewhat happy while playing this game because it's just so cozy and just so relaxing. There is never even really any sort of sense of harm or dread in this game. There are some enemies that attack you, but that's really it. And while I'll talk about the downsides of that later, that makes Tchia all the more relaxing. In a world with a bunch of negativity going around, it's nice to see something bright and colorful and just happy. Oddly enough though, the story has its dark moments, but they all work. In fact, the world that gets established in this game is a very interesting one. I also really like the visual style. At first I was a little iffy on it because it kind of looked like a less detailed cel-shaded aesthetic, but that's kind of the charm of the visual style. It has a unique cel-shaded look, and I like that. I also don't know how I went this long without mentioning the open world, as it is stellar. It is massive, and most of my time playing this game is just going around and exploring. This is where I see the similarities to Breath of the Wild, especially certain mechanics like the gliding and stuff like that, or even just exploring. The open world is just very nice. One more thing that I didn't mention is that Tchia is actually part rhythm game, kind of. I wouldn't really call this a rhythm game, but it does have some rhythm sections, and while it does kind of feel like it's the same song over and over and over again, it's nice. And lastly, the music in general adds to the overall feel of the game. Now on to the mixed aspects of Tchia, and the main thing is that it's very easy. Like, really easy. Like, I almost want to call it baby's first open world game. Almost. We'll get to why I don't want to completely call it that in just a little bit, but this game is clearly made with children in mind, and I almost don't even really think that the developers cared about the gameplay and objectives as much as they did the story, because the game literally gives you an option to flat out skip gameplay sections, which, again, I'll get into why a bit later, but there were certainly times where I was really tempted to use that feature. The other mixed thing about Tchia is that there really isn't much to this game. It's one of those games where what you see here is what you get. That's not particularly a bad thing, but there isn't necessarily a whole lot to write home about. Now on to the bad. To be fair, nothing really bothered me all too much about this game. How easy it is falls under the mix because I'm only mixed on that, you know? It doesn't grind my shit to a boil. But the one thing that really did annoy me in this game is that you have this huge open world. You can seriously get lost, but there are objectives, and in most open world games, there is a way to use a waypoint or at least track your objective, but not in this game. Most of the time, you just have to hope you are going the right way towards your objective because there really isn't any way of knowing. Now, I know for those of you that have played this game, you probably want to tell me, like, oh, there's DPX, there's literally an option when you open the map to tell you where you are on the map. While that is really cool, and yeah, it is there, it doesn't really tell you where you are. It circles a point on the map, not completely zoomed in, by the way, you know, and all it does is just tell you the general vicinity that you're in as opposed to pointing where you are on the map. After a little while of roaming around the open world, I don't know about you, but I want to progress in the game and get to the next objective after a little while. And with no waypoints, it makes the game feel nearly unplayable. This is what I meant when I said I was very tempted to use the skip gameplay section. But that isn't only just a fast travel feature, that skips the objective and just cuts to the next cutscene. So you're gonna have to do a lot of roaming around. But that really is the only thing that bothers me about Tchia. Well, I never really had Tchia on my radar or considered playing it until it was revealed to be coming to the PS Plus Extra for free day one. I actually think that this is a solid game to get technically for free. And as a whole, it is nice and relaxing with such a nice open world and such a happy vibe. But there's not much else to this one. And the lack of waypoints is really stupid. But I can't get that mad at Tchia because it almost feels a bit silly to do so. The best word I can use to describe Tchia is nice. While the game is certainly nice, like I said, there is not much else to this one. In the end, I give Tchia a 7 out of 10. Once again, if you have PS Plus Extra, I actually do recommend you giving this a shot because what do you have to lose? But if you don't, even though it's only $30, I would still wait for a sale. Anyways, that's my review on Tchia. Did you guys play this one? I know it's a rather niche game, so I honestly don't believe a whole lot of you played this one. But, like I said, it is free on PS Plus Extra, so if you have that, you could just download it, which I think is really cool, and I want to see more games like this on that service. Anyways, what do you guys think of Tchia? Did you guys like it? Do you not like it? Have you played it? Have you not played it? And if you haven't played it, do you want to play it? Do you not want to play it? Anything about the game, let me know down below. Anyways, be sure to like this video, comment, subscribe, or I will shake your world in a bad way. Bye, guys!